Good morning, students. Good morning, Ritesh sir, Pranjal, Pratik. We are having a very good day today. We'll have the alumni interaction. Uh, Today we have two alumni with us. One is Pratik Vijay and another is Pranjal Kamra. Pratik Vijay is Senior Executive of Multi-Commodity Exchange. He is an alumnus of NISM of 2017-18. And Pranjal Kamra is a CEO of Phenology. He is an alumnus of NISM of 2016-17. Before starting our alumni interaction, since you people are new, let me introduce brief about our alumni association. And one such activity of alumni association is this alumni interaction. And along with you, some more alumni has also joined as a participant to listen to our alumnus. First, this alumni association was started in 2018 to celebrate the nostalgic moments and to reconnect with all alumni, teachers, and staff members. And this association is running with a dedicated team of NISM officers, NISM faculty members. Professor Chari is heading, and I am also part of this. And Soil sir is also helping us to build. Along with that, Resma is also helping. And a group of dedicated students, all of your seniors are there. You can also join in different roles in different segments of these alumni activities. And alumni are there, and the NISM management, they are helping us to build this association. What we do in brief, I'll tell you. One such activity is publication. We bring one magazine that is called Jigyasa, that is curiosity to know. That is an annual magazine. Apart from annual magazine, we are having some occasional papers. Monthly, bi-monthly, we bring some of the articles that comes from alumni. You can either contribute in the form of articles, or you can act as an editorial board member of this magazine and publications. And we do alumni meet every year. There we do different activities apart from the formal functions or panel discussions. We do sports, culturals, swimming competitions, different chit chatting, and different role play that alumni and students do to bring back their memories. Then we do alumni interaction. Normally we do alumni interaction at the time of alumni meet. This year, with the help of your program director and Soil sir, we have restarted it for a continuous basis. Like every month we'll do at least 2 to 3 alumni interaction. This is the first interaction that is starting with you. And we do alumni hours. These alumni awards are given to those who have contributed to the institute, to the alumni, as well as they have contributed to their career. So first award we give is Alumni Service Award for those who are helping for the students to get placed. Either they are helping for their organization, or they are recruiting for, or they are giving us references for other organizations. We give them Alumni Service Award. And those alumni, they are passing out to some professional educations like FRM, CFA, or any of the recognized certifications globally. We give them Alumni Achievement Award, and we give lifetime access to all the alumni to the library. Pranjal will explain you what is the utility of this library. Very nicely he will explain you, because he was one of the beneficiary of this library. Then we got our own logo. You can see in the right hand side of corner, we have one alumni logo. This alumni logo is consists of market, that is M, and bull, and the trend line along with NISM name. You can read through description of this alumni logo in the alumni website. The link is there in the NISM website. You can go through and read through. We have alumni website, we have alumni YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all those things are for you. You can start connecting from day one. Will not take much time. We'll keep on interacting about the alumni association, and we'll go for the alumni interaction now. Let me introduce Pratik Vijay. Pratik Vijay is a become from DAV, Indore, and holds post-graduation in securities markets from NISM. That's why he's here today. He's a semi-qualified company secretary and a candidate for CS professional program with ICSI. Currently, he's working as a senior executive in business development of MCX, that is Multi-Commodity Exchange. Before joining MCX, he was student of NISM. Before joining NISM, he was managing sales and finance for 3 years at his own business venture, that is Vijay Auto, a dealership for TVS motorcycle at Rajasthan. Pratik is also a social activist working for girls children education with BM Vijay Charitable Trust, and an active member of for MCX CSR committee and Art of Living organization. He is a great poet. Sometimes during all the activities, cultural activities or functions, he cite very good poems, and he is a good team leader. I will not take much time. I will request Pratik to start his presentation. He is going to present today about the delivery system in commodity derivatives market. The delivery system in equity is completely different from delivery system in commodity. He will explain the complexity of physical delivery in the commodity market. Of course, he will explain what cash delivery and physical delivery. I will request Pratik to start his presentation. And before that, I'll just introduce you. You know your program director, Mr. Ritesh Nandwani sir. He will be moderating the session. I request Pratik to start the session.
Thank you, Panda sir, for brief introduction, and a very good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you all from on behalf of all the alumni of NISM. My name is Pratik Vijay, and I'm a part of NISM. I'm alumnus of NISM PGPSM batch of 2017-18. So before starting with the presentation, I'll just discuss in brief about my experience with NISM and at MCX. So in the year 2017, I was looking for a course in the field of capital markets. Then I got to know about the NISM, and I enrolled myself for the PGPSM program of NISM. So it was a 1-year fast track program.
Pratik, sorry to interrupt. We have lost your video feed. Would you like to check at your end?
Yeah, I have switched it off for a better network connectivity. So
okay,
yeah.
No problem. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I was telling you that in the year 2017, I enrolled myself for the PGPSM program, which is a 1-year full-time program of NISM for gaining the basic and advanced knowledge about the capital markets. And today, after 2 years of passing from NISM, if I look back and analyze the things, so I'm very confident to say this, that joining NISM was one of the best decisions of my life, because if I talk about in the language of commodity markets, I was kind of a raw material which was turned into a finished product by NISM and its faculties. So special thanks to all the faculty members like Ritesh sir and Panda sir who are present here today, and NISM. So in the past 2-3 months, a lot of people reached out to me on LinkedIn and Facebook asking the questions about joining the NISM and how are the placements. So I advise them to not to think about any other second option, because I know I myself have experienced what NISM has to offer to students who want to learn in the segment of capital markets. And since due to this unusual circumstances of COVID-19 created by this corona, that I firmly believe that corona will get over by December and you all will start your campus life from the next semester, because the best thing about NISM is its campus life, because it has everything which you expect from a premier educational institute, be it the infrastructure facilities, the good hostels, the food, the cleanliness, the recreation facilities, including swimming pool, gymnasium, etc. So all these things helps the students in overall development of the personality and a holistic development of a student. So, and if I talk about the life at MCX, so I got the job in MCX through NISM only, through the campus placements of NISM, and it's been 2 years that I'm working in the business development department of MCX after passing from NISM. And my job profile there is to look after the relationship of banks broking subsidiaries such as ICICI Bank, HDFC, Axis, Kotak, yes. And apart from looking after the relationship for banks broking, we organize the webinars and the seminars for the investors for creating awareness about the commodity derivatives. Secondly, apart from this, my role at MCX involves me for doing the data sales. For example, if you want to create any technical any chart using the technical analysis purpose or for research analysis, you need the data of the exchange. So that data may be the real time basis or the delayed or the historical data. So that data you have to bought from any of the authorized vendor of the exchange or from the exchange directly. So I am indulged in this activity of data selling at MCX. So now I think I can start off my presentation. So before sharing the knowledge on delivery system, I think we'll start with the commodity derivatives. So financial market is a mechanism that allows people to participate in trade. It consists of 5 different forms of markets segments. First is the capital market. Now capital market is divided into 2 parts, primary market and secondary market. Primary market, we all know, where the securities are issued for the first time through IPOs, and secondary market is a marketplace where already issued securities are traded. Second comes the debt market, where the capital is raised using the debt instruments such as debentures, bonds, and a fixed rate of interest is attached to it, which is called the coupon. Third is the forex market. As the name itself suggests, forex is the foreign exchange market. Foreign exchange means your currency is traded. For example, USD, INR, USD, Euro, all such currency trades happens in the forex market. Then comes the money market. Now, money market is a marketplace where borrowers and lenders exchange their short-term financial needs. Now, money market is also of 2 types. One is organized and other is unorganized. Now, if I talk about the organized money market, it has instruments such as treasury bills, commercial papers, and it is regulated by RBI. And unorganized money market, we see the instruments such as negotiable instruments like hundis, etc. Other which are, for example, if you're taking a loan for the short term without any security or other thing, which is not regulated by the market, that comes into the unorganized money market. Then comes the topic for the day, commodity market. Now, what are commodities? Commodities are the raw materials which are bought or sold or traded in the market. And what is commodity market? Commodity market is a marketplace where the physical as well as the derivative trading of the commodity takes place. Derivative trading takes place using the derivative instruments such as futures, options, forwards, etc. Now, I talk about the MCX. MCX is the Multi-Commodity Exchange of India, is the leading commodity derivative exchange of the country with more than 96% of the market share in the commodity derivative segment. Now I'm talking about derivative. So the first question is, do commodities trade on MCX? The answer is no. Commodities do not trade on MCX. It is commodity derivatives that trades on MCX. So what is derivative? A derivative is a contract where the buyer and seller agrees to buy or sell a specified quantity of commodity or a product on a future date at a price which is determined today. So it is a contract. And if I'm saying that it is a contract, then a contract, this contract is never perpetual. So it has an expiry. So all the contracts or the derivative products which are traded at MCX has an expiry date. Some have monthly, some have bi-monthly. Now, in commodity exchange, what are the 2 basic functions of commodity exchange? The 2 basic functions which a commodity exchange does is helps to do is price discovery and price risk management. Now, price discovery is arriving at a fair price of a commodity through the demand and supply factors prevalent at that particular point of time in the market. And what is price risk management? You all can see on your screen that the price of commodity is never constant. It is always changing because of the volatility and other factors attached to it. So if you are a producer or a manufacturer who is using the raw materials to manufacture or produce any sort of goods, so you are always uncertain about the price of the raw material which you will be using and what price you will be paying in the future. For example, you are standing at today, so there might be two alternatives. The price of the commodity raw material might go up in future or might go down. So what you will do in such case, you can take the position accordingly, the buy position or the sell position on the commodity derivative platform of the exchange, and can hedge your price risk, that is by locking the price today for the future. So this is how price risk management works for producers, manufacturers, and all the value chain partners. So if you are a producer, you will definitely generally take the long position, that is the buy position. If you are a farmer, you are an importer, you already have the possession of the commodity or the goods with you, then you will take the short position because you will be having the risk of falling in prices. Now you can see the commodity derivatives ecosystem. On the right side, you can see the number of market participants: farmers, FPOs, corporates, farmer cooperatives, wholesalers, importers, exporters, traders, government, etc. These all are the market participants who participates in the commodity derivative market in the country. Basically, there are three types of market participants. One is speculators who speculates the prices. Other is the hedgers who hedge their price risk in advance. And third is the arbitrators who buy at a cheap price from one market and sell at a higher price at other market. So on left hand side, you can see how farmer is harvesting the crops. He's bringing to the APMC for quality checking. After bringing his crops to the APMC, they are being shifted to the warehouse or the vaults in case of gold. And this is how the commodity derivative ecosystem works. Now, looking at the regulatory overview, SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, is the regulator for capital markets in the country. So with the commodity derivative exchange also. Then comes the stock exchanges, then members, and then clients. Now, till 2015, the commodity derivative market in the country was regulated by FMC, which is Forwards Market Commission. Since September 28, 2015, it has come under the purview of SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India. Now, earlier there were only the futures contract which are available for trading in commodities. Now, from year 2017, options on futures, like options for the commodities, are also available for trading. Active commodity futures in India, SEBI has notified 91 commodities where exchanges may launch derivative contracts. So there are 91 commodities where one can launch the derivative contract in country. Now, if I talk about MCX, that is Multi Commodity Exchange of India, the products of the exchange are divided into four verticals: bullion, base metals, energy, and agri. Now, in the bullion, MCX has gold and silver. In energy, it has crude oil and natural gas. In metals, it has 5 metal contracts: aluminium, copper, lead, nickel, and zinc. And in agri, it has various products such as cotton, kapas, mentha oil, crude palm oil, black pepper, etc. Now, this is the trading statistics and the turnover of the exchange which it has generated in the last years. Now, you can see from this graph that from year 2017 till Q4 of financial year 20, how gradually the turnover is increasing. It means that the country, that India, people are coming more towards the commodity market, are more and more trading. That's why the average daily turnover of the commodities are increasing. So you can see the figure, it is 36,626 crores per day of the average daily turnover at MCX in the Q4. And if you see the pie chart, the commodity which dominates most of the turnover is the crude oil, which is 40%, followed by gold and silver. Now, this is the figure of Q4, but right now you can see the price of the gold and silver are where they are going. They are increasing continuously. So gold and silver are dominating at this point of time, and crude oil is on the third number. So with this chart, what we can forecast, what we can see, the future of the commodity derivative market in this country. See, we are in 2020 right now. If I see for 2030, what will be the stature of commodity derivative market? If I say about the figures of the average daily turnover, if I talk about the yesterday's or this week's figure, the exchange is generating the turnover of around 50,000 to 60,000 crores due to the volatility in the gold and silver. And if I talk about the international market, see, in India, we have the equity markets on the top, first priority, second comes the currency, and third is the commodity market. Whereas in the world market, if you see, commodity markets comes first, currency second, and equity comes at the third stage. Now, this is something why one should talk about commodities, or why one should learn for commodities, what attractive proposition commodity offers over the other asset classes. Now, first is the leverage. For example, if you want to buy 1 kg of gold, if we take the price of the gold at 50,000 per 10 grams, then if you want to buy 1 kg of gold from the physical market, you have to spend 50 lakhs rupees to buy 1 kg of gold from the market. But if you want to buy the gold, 1 kg gold in MCX, do you require to pay 50 lakhs? The answer is no. You are required to make the payment of only the margin amount, that is generally the 5% of the contract value. Suppose right now it is 10% or 15% due to the volatility. We'll take the example of 10%. So you are buying a gold, 1 kg gold of 50 lakh rupees. So at MCX, you are required to pay the margin of only 5 lakhs rupees, and you can take the position in 1 kg of gold. So this is the leverage which one offers, which MCX offers for trading in commodities. Second comes the liquidity. For buying and selling, the most important thing is liquidity. For example, if you are a buyer and going to the market, but there is no seller available, you won't be able to buy. Similarly, if you are a seller and you are going to the market to sell something and there is no buyer available, then you won't be able to sell anything. So for trading in any script, there should be a great amount of liquidity. For example, n number of buyers and sellers should be present at all the time, so that there is easy entry and exit for the trader, which is offered at MCX commodity contracts. Coming to the diversification, now we all have heard this statement in the financial markets that never put all your eggs in one basket. This is said in respect of diversification. For example, if you have 1 lakh of rupees with you and you have invested that in the equity market and the market falls by 30%, so your funds now stands at 70,000 with a notional loss of 30,000. Now, generally, I'm saying generally there is a trend that whenever the equity markets goes up, the commodity market falls, and when the commodity market goes up, the equity market falls. It's a general trend that we have seen in the past years. So if you put 50,000 commodities and 50,000 in equities, and equity market falls by 30% and commodity increases by 30%, so your net loss will be zero. So this is how the diversification works out for a trader. Fourth comes the inflation hedge. Investing in commodities are a great hedge against inflation. Why? Because the definition of inflation is it's a rise in the general price level of the commodity. When the prices of the commodity increases, there is inflation in the country. And if you have invested your funds into the commodities and there is inflation in the economy, the value of your investments will also rise. So it's a very good hedge against the inflation. Last is the transparency. For trading, one needs a great amount of transparency. All the commodity contracts of the MCX are benchmarked to the international markets and the prices are taken from there only. So we have a great amount of transparency in terms of the global pricing. Now, this is what I was telling about the diversification scope. You can see these gaps. The orange line depicts the Nifty 50 and the blue line depicts the MCX gold. You can see the gap. When one is increasing, the other is falling. Now, this is the general trend. Now you will see, right now you will say that I can see the equity market is also increasing, the gold prices are also increasing. Yeah, that is also a scenario. But what I'm telling about is the general scenario from the past 5-6 years that we have noticed. Now, factors affecting the commodity prices. Prices ruling in the international markets, because commodity prices are linked to the international markets. Forex rates, if there is any change in the USD INR, the prices of the commodity gets impacted. Geopolitical factors such as global and Indian. For example, Mr. Donald Trump says anything, if there is any tension between the Iran, US and the Middle East, then the price of the commodity tends to change. Trade policy and regulations. For example, the government increased the custom duty last year on gold by 2.5%. It was earlier 10%. Now the government made it 12.5%. So the price of the gold increased in the country. So these are the factors which affects the commodity prices. Recession, inflation, trends in fast-growing economies, commodity-specific events and statistical releases like demand and supply scenario. These are the basic factors. Inventory levels. For example, LME is the London Metal Exchange, which is the world's largest metal exchange. If the inventory of the copper falls in the LME, so the price of the copper will tend to increase. So this is how the inventory levels works for changing the commodity prices. Now, coming to our today's topic discussion about the products and the delivery system. Now MCX in the bullion segment has two products, gold and silver. Now under the gold, we have four different products: gold regular, gold mini, gold guinea, and gold petal. Now gold regular, these all are four different derivative contracts. You can take position in any of them or all of them. For example, gold regular is a 1 kg contract which has a quotation of 10 grams, and the profit and loss per tick is rupees 100. What is tick? Tick is the minimum price movement in the contract value. For example, if the price of the gold increases by 1 rupee, then you will be having the profit of rupees 100 in this contract. Or if the price of the gold falls by 1 rupee, then you will be at a loss of 100 rupees in this contract. Now gold mini is a 100-gram contract. The quotation is in 10 grams, and what profit and loss you make per tick is 10 rupees. Similarly, gold guinea is 8-gram contract. Profit and loss is rupee 1 per tick. And gold petal is a contract for the retailers. Gold petal is just a 1-gram contract. And in the from November 2019 till May 2020, MCX has delivered around 15,000 1-gram gold coins to its investors. So it is kind, if you don't have enough money to buy the gold, or if you want to make a SIP, or if you want to make certain amount of investments, so you can actually buy the gold from MCX. Now, how you can actually buy the gold from MCX, we will just discuss that. All these contracts are deliverable. Now, I said that MCX is a commodity derivative exchange and the contract has an expiry date. So how you will buy or how you can sell the gold at MCX platform? So is it not like कि आपके घर पे सोना रखा हुआ है and you are like कि ठीक है हम MCX पर बेच आते हैं? So it is not like that. The gold which you can buy and sell at MCX is LBMA approved, which is London Bullion Market Association, is an association in London. वहां से अप्रूव्ड यानी 99.5 99.9 क्वालिटी स्पेसिफिकेशंस है. उसी क्वालिटी स्पेसिफिकेशन का गोल्ड आपको डिलीवर होगा और वही क्वालिटी स्पेसिफिकेशन का गोल्ड आप बाय कर सकते हैं एट MCX. सो हमारे घर में जो सोना रखा है उसका क्वालिटी डेफिनेटली आप भी जानते हैं वेरी करेगा. जो लॉकर रहता है उस क्वालिटी 99.5 है 99.9 तो आई डोंट थिंक होगा. सिल्वर की हम बात करें तो सिल्वर हैज 3 प्रोडक्ट्स, सिल्वर, सिल्वर मिनी एंड सिल्वर माइक्रो. या सर,
there are some South Indians. Please keep.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So we'll discuss about the silver. There are 3 contracts in silver: silver, silver mini, and silver micro. The quotation for the silver is 1 kg. It is a 30 kg contract. Silver mini is a 5 kg contract, and silver micro is a 1 kg contract. Why I'm saying it is a 30 kg? The size of the contract is 30 kg. So now I will share one instance with you. Last month I was taking a webinar with HDFC Securities on silver only. So at that time I was telling to the market participants or the people who are attending the webinar that the prices of the silver has reached 50,000 at that time, 1 month back. So there is a good potential to invest in the silver. So at that time the price was 50,000. So I will just quote one example for you. The 1 kg silver price was 50,000. The lot size of MCX silver is 30 kg. So if you are taking the position, if you are buying a 1 lot of silver at MCX, what will be the contract value? It will be 15 lakhs. 50,000 into 30. And what will be the amount of margin that you are required to pay? The margin at that time was 10%. So by paying 1.5 lakh rupees of margin, you can take the position in 15 lakhs rupees worth of contract. Now, what is the profit and loss you will get by movement of 1 rupee in the price of the contract? It is 30 rupees because the lot size is 30 kg. So if the price of the silver increases by rupee 1, then you get a profit of 30. If it falls by rupee 1, then you get a profit of loss of 30. So in last 1 month, the prices of the silver has shoot up to 80,000. So it's a like massive run, bull run in the silver prices from 50,000 to 30,000 in just last 1 month. So the amount of profit that we can calculate is 30 into 30,000. So that will be around 9 lakh of rupees is the profit which one could have made by investing just 1.5 lakh. So this is how the commodity market works. And similarly, if the prices would have fallen down, then you would have occurred the losses. Now, looking at the delivery system, now I will explain you how the delivery system works. For example, if we take the example of gold, the contract of gold regular, which is a 50 lakh contract, 1 kg of gold contract, which is value of 50 lakh, the contract is expiring on 5th of August. It is the expiry day of contract. And you have entered the position, you have taken a buy position, you have taken a long position in the contract on 3rd of July, suppose. So when you will be getting the delivery of the gold? This is the question. So till 31st of July, you have the chance to get your contract settled in cash. For example, the last 5 trading days of the contract are the staggered delivery period or the tender period. For example, if we take the assumption that there is no trading holiday or public holiday in the last 5 days, so 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th of August, including the day of expiry, that is 5th of August, are the last 5 days of the contract, which are known as the staggered delivery period of the contract. Now, how you can take the delivery? If you have closed your position by 31st of July, you are not eligible for delivery. But if you enter the tender period, that is on 1st August, you will be marked the delivery for the quantity that you have taken the position for. For example, on the 1st August, by 7:30 in the evening, the seller and the buyer has to give their intention of buying and giving the delivery to the exchange. At 8:30, that intention is displayed on the trading workstation of the members, that is the terminals of the stockbrokers. And after the market hours, that is the 11:30, the delivery is earmarked to the buyer and the seller accordingly. And how the actual delivery happens on the E+1, that is T+1, that is the tender period first day, +1, that is on the second day, at 2 p.m. you have to make in funds paying, and at 4 p.m. the exchange will make the delivery payout. So the buyer has to make the payment by 2 p.m. and seller has to deposit the delivery by 2 p.m. and at 4 p.m. the seller will get the delivery and buyer will get the payment. So this is how the delivery actually works in the commodity market. Now, what is the timing for the commodity market? We all know the timing of the equity market is 9:15 to 3:30, but the commodity market timings are 9 a.m. in the morning till 11:30 p.m. in the night. So this is one advantage that the commodity market offers over the other asset classes. For example, after the equity market closes, then also you can trade in the commodity markets. And why the timing is so till 11:30? It is because it is linked to the international markets, because the US markets opens in the evening. So we have to benchmark with our contracts to the international markets. That's why the timing is till 11:30 p.m. in the night. So from 9 a.m. in the morning till 11:30, you can trade in commodities. So I was telling about the staggered delivery period. Now suppose you have paid 5% of margin on 3rd July when you have taken the position in the gold. You have paid 2.5 lakh, that is 5% of 50 lakhs while taking the position. Now will you get the delivery at the same amount of margin paid? No. In staggered delivery period, on each day 5% of incremental margin is charged. For example, on 1st August, on 2nd August, on 3rd August, on 4th August, and on 5th August. If you are marked delivery on 5th of August, that is, then you will be getting it on 6th of August, actual physical delivery. So on all the 5 days, incremental margin of 5% per day will be charged to the trader. That will come to be around 30% of margin. And the buyer has to pay the entire funds by next day before the delivery, that is the funds paying by 2 p.m. before he gets a delivery at 4 p.m. So this is how one can take the delivery. For example, in the gold petal also, you can take the delivery of 1 gram gold coin will be delivered. So how the delivery will work? Will it work like Swiggy and Zomato, that you have placed the order and the delivery boy is delivering the coins to your home? No, it doesn't work like that. We have the vaults, we have the warehouses at designated centers. For example, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and Delhi are the primary delivery centers where you can actually go and take the delivery. What if you are in Rajasthan or if you are in Madhya Pradesh and you have marked the delivery in Mumbai? Will you go travel all the way to Mumbai by spending 10,000 rupees for buying 1 gram of gold coin? No, you are not required to go there. Also, you have the option of storing that 1 gram of gold coin into the vaults. Now, what will be the charges? The charges for storage will be the 10 paisa per day. So if you have purchased 1 gram of gold coin from MCX, you can store it into the vault without taking the actual delivery and by making the payment of 10 paisa per day, which will be coming up 3 rupees per month and 36 rupees per year. So 36 rupees per year is the charges which you will be paying for holding 1 gram of gold coin in the MCX vaults under safety. So the same, I think in the locker, bank locker, we pay more charges. And if I talk about the making charges, the charges are 400 rupees in physical market. If you go the 400 to 500, they charge you the making charges for 1 gram of gold. But at MCX, the charges are only 100 rupees for making charges of 1 gram of gold coin. And most important thing is the quality specification. The gold coin which is delivered to you is 99.5% of quality. So these are the advantage which traders are getting from buying and selling the commodities in actual at the exchange designated platforms. So here we can see that intention, as I told you, on any tender days by 7:30 p.m. marking of delivery will be done after the market hours. Now on expiry, all the positions which are open shall be marked for delivery. Delivery paying will be happen on E+1 basis. Now funds paying timing, you can see working day 2 p.m. funds payout 4 p.m. Funds paying means the buyer has to make the payment by 2 p.m. Funds payout means the exchange will make the payment to the seller by 4 p.m. and the delivery payout means the actual delivery will be delivered by 4 p.m. Now, how it happens? It happens through Commerce system of MCX. Commerce is Commodity Information Receipt Information System. It is a software-based application like a Demat account. For example, in a Demat account, you are holding your shares. Similarly, in the exchange, you are holding a physical commodity in the Commerce account through your member. So, if you want to sell, your Commerce account will be debited. If you are buyer, your Commerce account will be credited with the designated amount quantity of commodity. Now this is how the delivery system timeline. You can see the 5 days. As I said, the tender period margin 5% incremental margin charge on every day. Similarly, E+1, there are all the activities which happens on the 5 days. Now process of deposits of goods in the warehouse. Now sellers submit deposits requests in the Commerce, that is I said commodity receipt information system, submit KYD and supporting documents. Seller deposits goods in warehouse or vaults. Visual inspection and quality testing is done. E-warehouse receipt is created. Seller to submit e-warehouse receipt for commodity paying in Commerce. Like e-warehouse receipt is created because when you are going to the vault or the warehouse, they should have some proof that is it your commodity or is it somebody else. So that's why the e-warehouse receipt is generated. Now, after commodity payout, buyer to register with the relevant authorities and provide details for invoicing. Now, seller to raise the invoice on buyer by charging the GST, and the buyer will make the payment accordingly. So this is how the process of delivery system happens in MCX in the gold and the silver contracts. As I told you about gold, there are 4 contracts: gold regular, mini, guinea, and gold petal with the different sizes. You can take delivery in any one of them or all of them. But when the delivery will happen, it will happen after the expiry of the contract, the particular contract in which you have taken the position. Why I'm saying contract again? Because it is a derivative product. It is not a spot product. A spot means the current market price. For example, you are going to the market for buying anything right now. So that is commodity you are getting right now. But in MCX, you are taking the position for buying and selling on a future date. So that's why they are the contracts. Now these are the vaults and the charges. How the charges, for example, gold guinea 10 paisa per gram per 8 gram, gold petal 10 paisa per gram, and in the gold it is 35 rupees per kg. These are the per day charges for the exchange warehouse or vaults. Now coming to the energy products, MCX has 2 energy products: crude oil and natural gas. Now crude oil, these products are not deliverable. If you say that I want 100 barrels of crude delivered to my house, that is not possible. If you say I want this amount of natural gas to be delivered in my house, so that is not possible because we don't have the spot exchange for all these. So these are the cash settle contract. If you are taking the position, you have to settle it in cash only. You will not be getting the delivery of energy products at exchange. Now there is one important case study recently in the month of April that happened, which is a good case study for all the students who have interest in the risk management. So what happened in the month of April? The crude oil price got into the negative price zone. Okay, so what happened? Like you have bought certain amount of commodity with 1 lakh rupees. Okay, you have purchased a commodity of 1 lakh by paying 1 lakh rupees. Now on the next morning, your stockbroker is calling you and saying, sir, you have paid 1 lakh rupees for buying 1 lakh of worth of commodity. Now you are under a loss of 4 lakhs. So the client and everybody was shocked. What happened? Because they had no idea that the prices can go into the negative. So why the prices got into negative? Because the US has the production refineries also, production companies of the oil as well as the refineries. So the production was on full pace, and the refineries did not have the space for the storage. That's why the prices of this crude oil contract at the NYMEX, which is the New York Mercantile Exchange of the US, got into negative, and MCX commodity contract is benchmarked to the NYMEX contract. So at what price the NYMEX contract settles, MCX has to settle its contract at the very same price. So that's why the MCX commodity contract got settled in minus 2,800 rupees for that April contract. So all the sellers who were in the short position were benefited, and all the people who were in the long position were at a loss. Now coming to the base metals, we have 5 metals: aluminum, copper, lead, nickel, and zinc. These all are deliverable. Yes, you can actually take the delivery of aluminum, copper, lead, nickel, and zinc, but delivery will happen like Swiggy or Zomato at your home. No, you have to go to the warehouse and take the delivery. Now these are the sectorial participation of base metal contracts. Now you can see the metal lead. 80% of the lead is used in the batteries. So just a minute. Yeah, 80% of the lead is used in the batteries. So now we can see that the government is increasing its, like through its policies, also wants that all the vehicles through petrol and diesel engines should go into the like electric vehicles. So by 2030, the government has planned to turn the substantial amount of vehicles running through petrol and diesel engine on the electric platform. So the metal which will be most used will be the lead. So we can see the future of the lead in the coming days. As more and more people will be participating for all these commodities, there will be more requirement for hedging, and market participation will increase. So the turnover and requirement for hedging and learning about the commodity markets too. Now, coming to the last slide, the spot price pooling. Now, how the contract is settled. So for settling the contract, you need a certain price, because the contract are benchmarked to the various international market contracts. But what about the base metal contracts, which now do not have any link to the international market, which are delivered in country only by taking the spot prices? So MCX has a dedicated spot price pooling team who calls to in actual make phone calls to the market participants and takes the prices of the commodities at that point of time, and such prices are displayed on the screen twice a day, that is at 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. And these spot prices are important for calculating the FSP, that is the final settlement price of a contract. Now, how FSP is calculated? It is calculated by taking the simple average of last 3 days of the last spot price. So when you take the simple average of last 3 days of spot price, then comes the final settlement price at which the contract is settled. So this is it. I think in the time allotted, we have covered how the delivery happens on the last 5 working days of the contract, and the products at the MCX: gold, silver, base metals, energy, and agri. And these are the contract specifications. And to learn more about the commodity markets, I think you can log into mcxindia.com for gaining more and more knowledge about the different asset classes as well as the commodity markets. So thank you everyone, and thank you Panda sir, thank you Ritesh sir. Over to you Ritesh sir.
Yeah, thank you Pratik. Thank you for very informative and insightful presentation. Yeah. So thank you once again for this informative and insightful presentation. So I have got quite a lot of questions on the screen. Some of them are academic because people are from different backgrounds, and
Sure.
some of us probably do not have that understanding of derivatives as well. So I'll probably leave those academic questions, and we'll take care of that in our curriculum when we are discussing it with the derivatives course and the commodities markets course. They have two courses on derivatives and 1 course on commodities market in the curriculum. I'll rather focus more on market related or maybe MCX related 1 or 2 questions. So there is one question related to turnover and volumes at MCX so far. So you had shown the numbers also to all of us.
Yes.
The student probably wants to understand that there is lot of volumes as far as futures are concerned, whether it is gold, whether it is silver, or whether it is crude oil, but there are not similar amount of volumes in options. So A, if you can respond whether the observation is correct or not, and B, maybe your thoughts on why the trend is like that.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I'll answer this. See, why the volumes are so huge? It is because of the size of the commodity contracts. For example, if you see in the base metals and in the gold, the size is, for example, 5 metric ton in the base metal contracts, the 2.5 metric ton. And if I talk about the gold regular has the 1 kg of gold contract size. Though the margin you pay is less, but we calculate the turnover on the basis of the size of the contract value. So that's why right now the MCX is generating the turnover around in the futures contract of 50,000 or 60,000 crores in last 1 month, due to because of the increase in the volatility of silver and the gold prices. Now coming to the question that why the options do not have that much of turnover. See, there is a difference between the options. As the options were launched in the 2017 only, it is a new product in the commodity market, and the commodity options are very different from the equity options. So generally, we have the knowledge of equity options, where the option is a contract which has the underlying as a spot. For example, if you are buying the call option for Reliance, the underlying is the Reliance equity share. So if the Reliance share moves from 2000 to 2100, the value of your option will also increase if you are long on it. And if the Reliance share falls from 2000 to 1900, the value of your option will also fall. But in commodities, the underlying is not the spot, because we don't have the spot exchange right now. So it is a option on futures. For example, you are taking a position in an option contract. What is the underlying? The underlying will be the gold futures itself. If you're buying a gold option, the underlying will be the gold option. So in a sense, it's a derivative on derivative. For example, gold is an option and the underlying is the future itself. So they are options on futures. So it's a new concept for the market as well as for all the market participants. And generally, and similarly, there is a concept of delivery in options also, where the positions of the options are devolved into the futures after a certain point of time. So that's why the options do not have that much of volume and that much of popularity as compared to the futures. But if you say about the gold options and the crude oil options, these are very popular in the country, and people who have a good knowledge of the options, they do trade in the options depending on the their requirement. And if somebody does not want the delivery or want the position to convert it to the futures, they can very well square off within the timeline. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Pratik. Uh, uh, there is one more option, more question. The student probably wants to understand: can retail investors participate in commodity markets? Question number one. And second, can we buy and hold commodities in our demat account the way we are holding equity and some other securities?
See, for this question, I will say that investment in equities again is very different from investment in commodities. For example, we heard sometimes that the, for example, somebody's grandfather had bought so much amount of shares in 1980s and 70s, and now he is materializing those shares. So that is not possible in commodities, that you have bought 1 kg of cardamom or 100 kg of cardamom in 1980s and you are now getting it. So it is not like
Yeah, I think there is some
investing.
internet connection error at my end. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. Okay. So it is not like investment in equities. For example, you can hold an equity share for 30 years, 40 years, or as long as perpetual, on a perpetual basis, as long as you can. But it is not the case in the commodities, because we have a derivative exchange. We are not a spot exchange. We have the contracts which expires in the commodity markets. So the best way to invest in the commodities is to take the position, and before the contract expires, you can actually roll over your position. For example, you can square up your position and you can take the position into the new contract, which is called the rolling over of your position. So by continuous rolling over of your position, you can actually continuously be invested into the commodity contracts. Now, looking at the example of the gold, for example, like you can buy a gold exactly like that share in the demat account. Yes, for example, I gave the example of the gold petal. You can actually take the delivery and you can store it into the vault, just like you are storing your share in the demat account. For that, you have to open a trading account and with the member who has the delivery facility with MCX. The member will get you open one account in the Commerce also, where you can see your actual physical quantity of commodity in your name. If you are buying any commodity, it will be added to your Commerce account. If you are selling, it will be deducted from your Commerce account. So similarly, like equities, you can actually buy and sell gold in commodities also.
Thank you, Pratik. Maybe I'll take one or two more questions in the interest of time. There are one or two comments related to the WTI crude oil futures price the event which we saw some 2-3 months back when the price actually turned negative. There are two parts on the question. One is maybe your comments on why it happened or what led to negative future contract prices, and B, did it impacted the prices on MCX or prices of crude oil derivatives in India, or what was your experience at MCX dealing with this situation? Yeah.
So it's a tough question to answer, I think, because in terms of crude oil, we are less talking about these days, frankly speaking. So, but I'll answer this question. As what happened, the commodity contract of MCX crude oil is benchmarked to the NYMEX, that is the New York Mercantile Exchange, which is a subsidiary of Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So these exchanges, energy exchange we call NYMEX, is located in United States, and our contract is benchmarked to that, and we have a correlation of around 98-99%. So the price movement in the NYMEX commodity contract of the crude oil, WTI crude, is completely linked to the MCX crude oil price. And during that time, due to the pandemic, what happened? The SEBI made the timing of the commodity markets for till 5:30 p.m. instead of 11:30 p.m. So earlier the timing was 9 to 11:30, and then the timing was reduced to 5:30 because of the corona. Now what happened, since the US market opens after the Indian market closes, so the contract was benchmarked and it was linked. So during these 5-6 hours, so those who are having the open positions in the commodity contract on the expiry date MCX, okay, so they had no idea that, okay, and they were like quite full helpless, because MCX was not open. The contract was closed at around 945 rupees at that time, around 5:30 p.m. And by 11:30 p.m., by 12 o'clock in the night, it went to minus 2800. So what happened, as I give you in the example, there are two types of companies. One is the production companies which extract the crude oil from the earth, and one are the refineries which supply the crude oil, refines the crude oil and supplies to the end users. Now due to the corona, the demand of the crude oil has decreased, and the production companies did not make such amount of cut in the production which was required. So they were producing and extracting the crude oil, and they were supplying to the refineries. Now the refineries storage capacity was full. They do not have any more capacity to take the crude oil. So there was a lot of crude oil which was in between the production companies and the refineries. So that's why the prices got into the negatives. And since the prices of the WTI crude oil contract got negative in the United States, it got negative in India also. And the impact on the exchange was that we had around hundreds of cases from the members and the brokers, because as I said, that you are a client, you have invested 1 lakh of rupees for buying 1 lakh of commodity. So the maximum loss that you will be having was 1 lakh, simply. But what happened that day, on the next day, you were called upon to say that, sir, you have made a loss of 4 lakhs. So it was quite surprising and shocking for everyone that I have purchased something with a value of 1 lakh rupees. The maximum loss should be 1 lakh. How can I have the loss of 4 lakhs? This is because the prices got into the negative. And the brokers, the stock brokers or the members of the MCX paid such price to the exchange because they have to deliver their obligation. And that's why we face certain inquiries and commission, but that was okay right now. The court says that the contract was supposed to be settled as per the NYMEX contract price. So that's sorted for as of now.
Okay, thank you, Pratik. Moving to one or two questions which would I rather be of interest of all the new students. So I'll raise two questions to that. First is they are beginning the program today, so they have made a decision that they will invest 2 years of their life in improving themselves in developing skill sets to make a successful career in securities markets. So any words of wisdom or any piece of advice from your side, since you have gone through this process, in terms of what all skill sets industry looks at, how they can prepare themselves for a bright career in securities markets, or how they can make sure to optimize and to gain maximum out of the 2-year engagement at NISM?
Sure. So I think, as I told in the starting also, NISM is really a great institution for learning and developing skills in the field of capital markets and securities markets. It has one of the best faculties in the country, which teaches all the relevant subjects related to the capital markets. For example, econometrics, fixed income securities, portfolio analysis and valuation, advanced derivatives, corporate governance, everything which a student requires and which are the relevant to the market. And since you are enrolled for the 2-year program, you have a very good amount of time to make full use of your time which you have these 2 years. I think as a student, you should focus definitely on studies and gaining more and more knowledge, because after 2 years, if you will look back, then you will end up gaining a lot of knowledge, making a lot of good friends and memories. And apart from this, you will definitely get a good job also. And I must say that institutions like NISM are like a treasure box, like a big treasure box. So it depends on you how much you can take from it, from the faculties and from the library and from all other facilities which it offers. So first thing that I would like to say, that a lot of students who contacted me during the past 2 months before taking the admission in NISM, they had one question, ki, sir, placements kaisa hai? What about the placements? So I understand from the student perspective that they are more focused about the placements in the initial days. But I will say that you don't worry about the placements at NISM, because it offers you 100% placement assistance, and make full use of your time in learning, utilizing the library. It has one of the best libraries, I think, in the country. And the time in NISM definitely will develop you overall in terms of personal and professional life. It will give you a holistic development of your personality. So what the curriculum, for example, everybody is not same. First thing you should remember, like we were a batch of 120 students divided into 2 sections, one A and B. So generally it was presumed that people who are in A sections are quite smarter and people who are in B sections are quite are not that much. But what happened at the time of placements, the people who were in the B section got placed first. Interview skills are quite different from learning and from being a topper in the class. So you should definitely focus on academics, but you should improve your communication skills and interpersonal skills also, which are helpful for cracking the interview. For example, if I take my example, so I joined NIS in the month of July, and it was a 1-year program, and the placement started in the month of January. So almost all of my batch was placed, 70-75% of my batch was placed, and my CV was not even shortlisted in any of the company. So I was quite hopeless at that point of time. Ki what will be the future like? Okay, my CV is not getting shortlisted, and I could see my friends who are getting placed and coming to me happily celebrating. Yeah, I got placed in this company and that company, and I was like, okay, next time I will get a chance for the interview. So after 2-3 months of wait, the MCX came to the campus, and I got a chance. My CV was shortlisted luckily in MCX. So this was a kind of a golden chance for me, okay, to show the skills I have or to represent myself in a better way, because we were around 16 or 17 people shortlisted for MCX, including chartered accountants, company secretaries, and cost accountants, and all the ones who have a good experience earlier also. So there was a competition among the students also, that who will get into it, because the seats are limited. So I prepared myself very well, because interviews, like, you have to sell yourself. See, if there are 2 or 3 interviewers, you have to ensure that how better you can sell yourself, so that they hire you, not anybody else. So these are the skills which you need to develop. Read newspaper daily. You should be updated about the news, because the question that was asked to me in the M6 interview, that what is the news in the today's newspaper, and I was able to answer that because I read newspaper daily. Then have a good knowledge about the asset class which you are interviewing. For example, MCX is the commodity market. So I started reading about the commodity market 2-3 days back, and I had passed a quite good experience. So that helped me out in facing the interview, in answering all the relevant questions which were asked to me. And be confident at all the time. That is what I can say. And develop your personality to the extent that you should have that much of confidence that whatever company is coming, whatever interview you are facing, that will surely hire you. If you get a chance, then you have to make it. This is what I have for you. And I think I said that institutions like NISM are a big treasure box. It depends on you how much you can take. So make full use of time, make full use, take the full advantage of all the great faculties that are there at NISM for you, to teach you and to guide you in the matters related to personal and your professional life also. And once you'll join the campus, you'll definitely experience a beautiful life, because we generally say that the campus of NISM is not a campus only, it is a resort. So when on a lighter note, I will say when we friends used to talk that if somebody is not getting placed in the NISM, then also there is no worry, because the fees that he has paid is utilized in the resort and the facilities that NISM has offered. So I think that on a lighter note, jokes apart, you should definitely study. And again, a very warm welcome to you all, and very all the best to every one of you for beginning your new life with NISM. And surely, we all the alumni are there for you. You can call us, you can contact us for any help, any work, any assignment related, or any placement related thing afterwards. So we are there for you. Feel free to contact us at any point of time. Thank you, Ritesh sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pratik. So on behalf of NISM, the Alumni Association, our students, I and Dr. Panda sir would like to take this opportunity to extend gratitude to you to take time out of your busy schedule and to be available for this interaction on Saturday morning. Thank you very much, Pratik. Since we are connected virtually, we are devoid of an opportunity to present a memento of gratitude, but on the screen, some kind words of appreciation from our side. And thank you once again for spending time out of your schedule and
Thank
for
you.
being available for interaction with students.
Thanks a lot. And sir, one thing I would like to say
Thank you, Pratik. Yeah.
that for NISM, I think we are free for coming to NISM. Like there is no time restriction, because it's like a home to us. So whenever Panda sir calls me or you call me to coming to the NISM for anything, any activity, we feel blessed that we are called at our home again. So we are a big NISM family, and like 80 or more than 100, around 100 students who have joined, I welcome them again to part of this family. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pratik. Panda sir, over
Thank
to
you,
you.
Pratik. Yeah. Thank you, Ritesh sir. It was an extensive session on